Welcome back to the Crypto Gorilla YouTube channel. Today we're going to be looking at some upcoming projects as well as talking about some trends in the market. As usual, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. All of this is just my opinion, and you should always do your own research before buying or selling anything, or you might get absolutely wrecked. And if you like this kind of content, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and check me out on Twitter. Now, a very popular trend, of course, was the application process with the public announcement. A lot of projects that I'm talking to now are debating if they should be doing this too. I don't think they should be. One, they're kind of jumping on the bandwagon, and two, they don't have as much hype as Utes does. Now, I don't know if Utes was the first project to do this. There are some others. However, they are one of the most popular, if not the most popular, where they just announce publicly every single person that has been selected. Now, they did have to delay. Their mint is currently live as I'm filming this. I have not minted yet, as I have not been able to figure out which wallet I'm whitelisted on, and I have to send my dust from wallet to wallet in order to figure out which one that is. So I have not had a chance to do that yet, partially because Solana sucks and the network is just not working. However, another one that has been doing this public selection process that I was able to get whitelisted for as well is going to be Valhalla. It is the most popular one on ETH with this whole application process method. You can see here, Greg the Gatekeeper is announcing people who have gotten in. If you want to sign up, you could do it on their website, joinvalhalla.com. And a way that improves your odds is if you get a referral code. The way to do this is to find somebody or know somebody that has made it in. If they go on the website, they will get 3 referral codes. Hopefully they can give you one. Now, this does not guarantee you get in, but it definitely does improve your odds. I personally have only let in new members into my group that have been referrals from others. But another thing I have heard is they're very much into gaming. So in your application, I would definitely include that you like games like Apex, Valorant, Overwatch, any first-person shooter, and apparently it does improve your odds, so give that a try. Now, another trend that we have been seeing is a lot of these projects, when they announce that they have huge backing, they do tend to see a pump. This one has announced it before doing their mint, but the parent company for Valhalla actually raised $13 million in a Series A fundraising round, so that is very bullish for this project. Last week, we did see Daigaku have a massive pump, being a free mint, go all the way to 16 Ethereum after they announced that they have raised $200 million. You could see it has retraced almost 50%. However, they did get an airdrop that is worth roughly 4 Ethereum, so it kind of makes up for some of the dumpage. Now, another project that also saw a pump once they made an announcement is going to be this one, Cryptocurrencies. I had never heard of this project, but they did see a pump after they announced that the parent company, Baidu Ventures, has raised $700 million. Now, I really doubt the $700 million is going to go directly into building Cryptocurrencies, but they do have clearly a massive fund that they're able to put a lot of money into this project. Now, another trend I often hear is going to be, this is the next proof, or people think it's going to be the next proof, right? You have Proof Collective. These went all the way up to 100 Ethereum. Hopefully you don't get wrecked like this guy bought for 108. But I do often hear that narrative, especially with these small supply collections. Now, the one I'm hearing about right now is going to be this Diamonds Tribe Pass. Unfortunately, I did fade this one. I had an opportunity at whitelist. The mint was 1 Ethereum. I did not submit my wallet in time. It is not the first time I do this. I have done that, I believe, 4 times now, and I've lost out on tens of thousands of dollars simply for not remembering to put my wallet in. So as you can see, these were a 1 ETH mint. They went all the way up to 13. However, the highest sale is 11 Ethereum. But this is one I am considering personally putting a bid on, maybe grabbing one. Now, like I said, this is a very popular thing I hear. This is the next proof. I got lucky enough. I got picked for a bunch of these. I got chosen for Magma, which was, I believe, a 0.45 ETH mint for me. There was a public sale where they went for like 2 Ethereum. However, I did manage to flip this one for 3.5 Ethereum. Another one I'm hearing talk about is going to be ARC. Now, people are calling this one the Asian proof. The difference here is that it's a soulbound token, so you are not able to sell the NFT. However, I do think that they're going to try to introduce a ton of utility. Maybe there's going to be some airdrops or whatever it is. So it's definitely worth signing up to this stuff. And this one is a free mint, so if you are selected, you can mint it for free. Now, another one of these passes that people were saying is a potential proof is going to be the Wumbo pass. Again, I was selected for this. It was a free mint. I also flipped this one, so I did make really good profits. I think I flipped for 1.6 or 1.5, but despite having flipped this one, I do hear some good things about it. Now, with all these application processes. I do hear a lot of people complain, right? I obviously got selected for Magma, Atama, Wumbo, all these things. I got selected for Utes, Valhalla, and I do see a lot of people complain, especially with Utes, that it's an influencer group, right? Or it's just, they're only picking those people. So I just want to address this. Like, you got to think about it. If you have this group of people that have a ton of followers, or they have an impact in the space, right? They have a name in the space. What's more valuable? Having some of those people, or having just picking random people in the Discord that are just spamming GM, fix your posture, drink some water? You have to think, who adds more value to that project? The same thing goes for when we see, I don't know, Gary V mint something or tweet about something, right? That project tends to pump, even though people have no idea what the project's about. They just throw their money at it. There is power behind these names, so it's only natural that the projects want to include these people. Now, something else I saw, and I have not verified these numbers, if you think Utes only accepts influencers, think again. Almost 83% of all Utes list have less than 10K followers. The median value is 1575. And the biggest group is people with less than 1,000 followers. So it's not a rigged game. So you definitely do have a chance of getting in. It's always worth applying. And instead of complaining, just try to get better in the space, make good connections. Maybe one day you are also going to get chosen for this kind of stuff without having to do any additional work, because you've already put in the work. Now, if we jump back to the Diamond Tribe Pass, one of the reasons I liked seeing this, as well as Digidaigaku, is because it's centered around Web3 gaming. For the longest time, I really wasn't interested in Web3 games anymore, only a few like My Pet Hooligan, but a lot of projects were approaching me, telling me about their game, and I was just like, meh, you know, I couldn't be bothered. But now that I'm seeing this, it could indicate a bigger trend of games coming back into fashion. So there are some gaming projects I want to look at that I'm looking forward to. The first of which is going to be Djenheim. Now, Djenheim is making a play to earn game with a playstyle that resembles Hades or Diablo. Now, I have had the chance to speak with Milan multiple times. I really like what he's building. I like what they're doing. They're a fully doxed team that have experience building games. This is 100% self-funded, and the NFTs will give you access to airdrops. They're going to give you early access to the game. They're going to give you in-game advantages and a ton more utility that has not yet been announced. They're also partnering with a ton of different communities to create custom gear. I was lucky enough to be selected as one of the communities to have custom gear. As you can see here, this character has a gorilla armor with the gorilla character on the shoulder pads. He has this epic long sword, and of course he has the orange and dark brand colors. Now, another thing they have promised me, and they gave me 100% their word on this, so no takesies backsies, is that this armor and gear will be the most strongest OP gear in the game. So remind them of that when the game comes out. But in all seriousness, I am very excited for what they're building. I really like that they're building everything before they built, like, for it's been a year that they're building everything, and they have a ton to show, because this is a very hard game to build. Now, the alpha will not be available on Mint. However, it will be available in Q4. Mint is planned to happen sometime in late September, if not early October. Now, another thing that they're doing that, as you can see here, Guerrilla Labs is going to be participating in, is they're going to be a cross-community Olympics where you're able to compete for different prizes. Here you could see you get 300 free mints, you can get 120 degen list spots, or you can get 3 game integrations. I assume that means like they did for me, like they did for other communities like Llamaverse, where you have some armor or character in the game. So I would definitely encourage your community that you're part of to sign up to this on their website and be part of the tournament, because you could win some free NFTs or a whitelist spot. Next one I want to talk about is going to be Azra Games. So this is more than just a game, because they do have a game called Legions and Legends. However, Azra Games, which will be dropping the first NFT, is going to be a gaming studio. I like to think of it or compare it to something like Gala Games, where they have a whole suite of games under their hood. Now, although it is a utility pass, this is going to be a PvP or avatar collection. Now, the way they're using the acronym for PvP, they're not thinking profile picture, they're calling it their Play Forever Pass. Now, although their NFT does look like a profile picture or an avatar, the acronym PFP for them, they're actually calling it a Play Forever Pass. So this is going to have a ton of utility behind it. And like I said, they are planning to build out a ton of games. So if you hold this over time, you're going to get benefits for all of those games, as well as for the entire ecosystem. The team is fully doxed. and they have worked on a bunch of games like Star Wars, Marvel, Battlefield, Dragon Age, and Mass Effect. And they're also backed by A16Z. Remember at the beginning I was talking about the whole gaming trends projects being backed by a massive or a well-known company and raising a ton of funds. So this checks that box. Now I can't tell you about their mint or any of the details, but if you do have whitelist, I do think you will be pleasantly surprised. So another project you are not going to want to miss. Now the next project, moving away from the gaming stuff, is going to be Yoga Pets. You've probably already heard of it. This one is very hyped. Now, if you look at some of their marketing, a lot of it does resemble very much like Memeland. As you can see here, they have the logo for 9gag. They have the MVP in the background. And that is because the founder of this project is very close with the founder of 9gag, Ray. And if you look on the website, 9gag is one of the advisors, as well as a ton of well-known people in the space. So this is going to be a 10K collection, and we already know a ton of the utility behind it. They are going to have their own token, or 2 tokens. Here you can see the Prana and the Karma token. And they are also already in development of their wellness app. It's going to have 3 different features, we can call it. It's going to have a social feature. It's going to have a gamified feature where you could play these different games. Here you could see breathe to earn, sleep to earn, and you could earn their tokens. And then with these tokens, you're going to be able to redeem different prizes based on who they're partnered with. If we look here, you could see a 1-week meditation retreat, a yoga class. Here you could see boxed water for yogi, and this is all available with their token. So if you're able to earn their token for free, and then you're able to travel with their token, that is a very cool feature. But like I mentioned, this is very hype, and in my opinion, the main reason for that is going to be due to the close connection to Memeland, to Potatoes, and Memeland is the most hyped project on Ethereum at the moment. So I do believe this one is also going to perform very well, and I would not miss this project. Last but not least, there are 2 projects I want to talk about very quickly. I'm not going to get too much into the details, but I do like how they have gamified the experience for their project. The first one is called Oldius. If you take a look at their art, it is very high quality. I really do like their art. It is all in this black and white. There are some colors, as you can see in the eyes. Sometimes there's this red depending on the character, but it's by 4 artists who have worked on some of the top animes in the world. And one of them has worked on the latest season of Attack on Titan. But as I mentioned, they have gamified their server. In the server, to get roles, to get whitelist, they have this thing called the hunt. Essentially, they have these riddles or these puzzles that here, while you can solve it as one person, the point is to participate as a group and use teamwork in order to solve them. And then if you do solve them, you can earn yourself their guild pass, which is their form of whitelist. And if you already have whitelist, you could still earn more guild passes, and that is going to give you even greater rewards. So this is definitely a project I would check out, not only because I really love the art, but because they're going the extra mile and they're really gamifying the experience. Now, another project that is also gamifying their experience, this one actually reminds me a lot of Nifty Nuggets, the old school days when Nifty Nuggets was very small and you had to get in the server, and then to invite other people, you had to win tickets to invite them. Now, this is their Genesis collection. As you can see here, it's a very small supply, which these collections have been doing very well lately. It's only going to be 333. It reminds me a lot of Pokemon. This guy looks a lot like Professor Oak, but the technology behind these NFTs is really cool. You're going to get an egg, and then based on your participation in the server, based on your contribution, your NFT is going to evolve through different stages, and there are 5 different pillars. If you make fan art, it's going to evolve in one way. If you do memes, if you provide alpha, depending on your interactions with the server, you're essentially going to get a different path, and your NFT is going to evolve based on your interactions with the community. So I really like that. There are more ideas. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to share them, but they have a lot of different ideas to gamify the server. A lot of it does remind me, or it is very much inspired by Pokemon, and I personally really like that. And like I said, it is a very small supply. And for minting this one, again, if you have whitelist with the mint price and everything, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to reveal it, but I do think people are going to also be pleasantly surprised. So this is definitely another one I would try to get into. And that does it for today's list. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you aren't already subscribed to my channel, would you kindly hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification. Thank you for watching the Crypto Gorilla. Peace.